This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is time for What in the World with.
Bigfoot. No.
Oh, no.
Sitting in for Bigfoot this week is Paul Seaburn. We
Uh,
we could we couldn't book Bigfoot. Sorry. Every week I try to book him, and he just won't show up. I can't afford to pay the outrageous fees that he's asking for one thing.
well,
But anyway, so we're here with What in the World. Hi, Karen. Karen Hale, our producer and media mogul, is over there, and John DiNallo, our co-host and color commentator. Hi, John.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Karen.
hey.
So we're here as we are every week. I think we're live on YouTube.
Yes, we
So
are.
hello to everybody on YouTube. If you're watching us in the future on YouTube, hello in the future. You can go to newclevelandradio.net, as I always say, and download the podcast from a wide variety of platforms for free, which
Yeah.
is
No
yeah,
subscription fees.
no subscription fees. There we go. So please, support us with clicking on ads and all that good stuff, or visit our advertisers. Always important to do to keep shows like ours in business. And the other thing that keeps us in business is the weird news. Our motto: real news, sometimes strange, always funny. As always, we've got more and more strange stuff this week. A couple of strange world records. John has the world's strangest sport for this week, with plenty of pictures. So this should be a lot of fun. Well, let's see. I've got a UFO story, Bigfoot soap. We talked about this last week. Bigfoot apparently is into soap. We'll talk about that. Flat Earth theory. We got a story about the flat Earth people. Rhinoceroses flying upside down. How about that, John? I know you're going to want to see that.
Sure.
It's not a sport, though. You can't bet on them.
I'm glad you defined it for us, Paul.
Let's see. Edible cars. Oh, this you'll love this one. Edible cars, and walnut-shaped UFOs. So I've got don't wrap your head around it yet, Karen.
Okay.
Just wait. So, and some more weird news and weird world records and strange sports kind of stuff. And of course, we play everybody's favorite game, Bluff the co-host. John wasn't with us last week. John, I played for you, and believe it or not, you won this time. I don't know how that happened.
Well, because you played for me, I think.
That was it. Yeah,
That's
something went wrong in the circuitry, and you managed to win.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready for this week's show.
Yeah, oh, that's a bad sign.
Ready for this week's contest, I should say.
Yeah. So let's get to it. And I'm going to lead in with the fact that this was Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm assuming everybody but Karen was watching the Super Bowl this weekend. What did you do? Something interesting, Karen? Were you just eating?
I've watched bits and pieces of it.
Oh, bits and pieces. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
Yeah. Well, I think everybody just watches bits and
big
pieces.
channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you don't have a party, you got to go to the bathroom and get some more wings and whatever else you're doing. We had red beans and rice, homemade red beans and rice from my Louisiana cookbook. So it was a little bit of Cajun in there. So anyways, so if you did watch, and most people who watch, like the lovely Donna, watch for the commercials. So there was a commercial there that just made me jump out of my seat and scream Bigfoot. And it was for Dr. Squatch soap. I'm going to bring up a picture of Doctor's, in case you didn't see it or you were in the bathroom at the time. There you go. There's Dr. Squatch soap. We're not making this up. So, there goes the phone here. So one of the unexpected consequences of this commercial being run during the Super Bowl is that there was a shortage of Dr. Squatch soap at the stores. I think Heinen's carries it in our neighborhood. And at the same time, there was an increase in Bigfoot sightings. So they put two and two together, and what they think is that Bigfoot was expecting a shortage. We were going to make a run on it after seeing how wonderful it is. So they bought it all out. So you can't get it in the stores this week. But
Is
you
it
can buy it online. And
is it
this
really
is
made of
this
pine
company,
tar?
pardon?
Is it really made of pine tar?
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's a real company and it's obviously doing well if they could afford to buy Super Bowl ads. Started in 2016 by a guy by the name of Jack Haldrup in the Midwest. I think Indiana was where he started, and that's where he got the idea to put Bigfoot on the package. He makes $6 million a year at least selling plain old soap. The ingredients are lye, vegetable oil, and scented oils. That's it. That's all that's in there. So apparently you can buy the scent of pine tar. Why? I don't know. Pine tar, the only thing I ever used pine tar for was to keep the bat from slipping out of my hand when I was playing baseball.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's it, John. I can't think of any other use.
I can't think of any other use of pine tar. No, I don't.
And if you think about the fact that it makes the bat stick to your hand, maybe it also either makes the soap stick to your pits, or worse, it makes the bar stick, which would be pretty uncomfortable, I think. So this guy, he says, I read his biography. He had psoriasis, and no soap would ease the discomfort. So he had decided to invent his own with the simplest ingredients he could find, which are, what did I say they were? Lye, vegetable oil, and scent. Some of the scents are pine tar, bay rum. I think that probably smells good, and spearmint basil, which I've used in recipes. I don't know if I'd rub it on myself. So anyway, he doesn't. I lied about it being at Heinz. I don't think he sells it in stores. Most of it is online, and you actually buy a subscription to Dr. Squatch, and then you get soap of the month, which is a good idea for him. I don't know if it's a good idea for the consumers, but yeah, you get a regular delivery of a box of Dr. Squatch soap. Up until recently, he made it himself in his kitchen. Here's a picture of him cutting up the bars of soap in his kitchen. It looks like cheese, looks like bad cheese. It's
like something other than soap, I'll tell you.
Yeah, or maybe some kind of weird banana loaf that didn't turn out right.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyways, that's it. He's got 17,000 subscribers. 17,000 people in the Dr. Squatch Soap of the Month Club. Paying anywhere between $6 and $18 per shipment. So that's like once a month. 18. Wow. Who stinks this bad? And if you need to pay that much for soap every month, maybe it's not working. I don't know. Blame Sasquatch. That's what I would do. And other than the fact that he grew up in Indiana, I think he lives in San Diego now. That's the only connection to Bigfoot. So there was one other commercial that I liked, and it was Inspiration 4. I don't know if you saw that. I don't have a picture of it. Very space age kind of thing. It was by Spacex, which is Elon Musk space travel company that does all the privately held company does launches. Publicly owned, I guess it is. So they're looking for one more person to send into space on the next mission, which will have 4 private citizens on it rather than professional astronauts. So I could just see people thinking, "Oh man, this is the perfect thing for me," while they're at a Super Bowl party. So to symbolize how their excitement about being an astronaut, they pin a chicken wing, on their shirt. Because nobody carries wings around like pilots do. So pin a chicken wing on and pretend to be Captain Kirk.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That one didn't work out as good as I thought it would.
No.
So John or Karen, I'll ask you first. Did you watch the halftime show?
No, but you missed the best commercial. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The
what was it?
Doritos commercial.
Oh, that was the one with Matthew McConaughey,
Yes.
the flat Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
That was really
That was clever. Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
was clever. In general, I like the commercials at times more than the game.
Yeah.
The one I love the Bruce Springsteen one, which
Oh, that was good.
for
I thought that was
G.
good.
Yeah, there were a couple of others, but I did watch the halftime show. John, did you watch the halftime show?
I did watch the halftime show.
Are you a fan of that particular artist?
No, I am not. And, I really didn't know who he was until the weekend.
Well, I did. Yeah, the brilliance. I think I'm not particularly a big fan of his music, but the brilliance to call yourself the Weekend. I mean, who hates the Weekend? Everybody loves the Weekend. So, there's always positive and good publicity when your name is the Weekend. So I think that was brilliant. Anyways, to segue into our next story, the latest member of Bosnia's most popular band, which is called, and I'm going to have to read this one, Dubioza Collective. The Dubioza Collective, that's collective with a K. The newest band member, I'm just going to show you his picture right here. That's him. His name is Robbie Megabyte, and he's obviously a robot.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so I don't know if the drummer caught on fire or what, but they're replacing one member with a robot. He sings, he plays musical instruments, and he was designed by students at Sarajevo University, their electrical engineering school. So, of course, you know how college students are. There's already a competition going on. The biology department, the students in the biology department are working on a synthetic meat that they're going to use on Lady Gaga and get her to do a concert with her synthetic meat. The only robot band I could think of was Devo. Remember Devo?
I remember Devo, sure.
Yeah, they did Whip It.
Right.
Local band, by the way, local band from Akron, Ohio, I believe.
Yes.
In fact, they still tour. I don't know if all the band members are still around, but they still tour. Interesting band. So, anyways, that's what they're doing in Bosnia. They're using robots in their rock bands. Speaking of robots, I have another good robot story here. So, the robotics firm Boston Dynamics, they're the ones that invented this robotic dog. I don't know if you've seen it. It doesn't have a head. It's just a dog body. And it does everything, Karen. It walks up and down stairs. It chases rabbits. It goes into buildings that are on fire and brings people out. How does it do it without a head, you may ask?
Yeah.
Well, instead of a head, what they've done is they've implanted an arm where the head should be. So it's a robot arm, one of these kind of robot arms where the head should be. So, of course, people with nothing better to do, instead of coming up with life-saving things for this robot, they came up with him doing this. Now, if you can see, that's two dog robots with the arm for a head, each one holding the end of a jump rope. And the third one is skipping rope. Now,
I see.
Can you believe it? Look it up on video. The video, the picture doesn't do justice. Look it up on video. It is the most entertaining video you'll see in a long time, and scary because these are robots. They're robots. It's unbelievable. I mean, what next? Next thing they're going to come up with, they'll add a voice and they'll be singing one of those games,
Yeah.
Johnny and Mary sitting in a tree, KISSING. They'll be skipping and singing, and before you know it, kids won't have jump rope to do anymore. It'll all be robotic.
Yep.
Scary thought there. And then we've talked about this so many times. I thought it would be over, but we talked about the monoliths in 2020, the mysterious 10-foot tall silver triangular things showing up everywhere. I thought they were done for the century. No, They're back in Turkey. So it's they apparently they didn't hear my stories in Turkey that these are art projects. So one of these mysterious monoliths shows up in Turkey, and here's what happens. They put ropes around it and they're guarding it with the military. They don't know. They're afraid the aliens are going to come. It's just, and it's got a message on it. This is the first one. You can barely read it. I think it's written in Turk. It's in an old Turkish language. It says, "Look at the sky, see the moon." So they must think, "Oh God, well that's obviously a message from aliens. This is a landing spot or something." So they have the military here guarding it. I can just imagine. I was never in the military. I have many friends who were, and they like to tell war stories. So I can just imagine this poor guy when he's retired from the military and he's sitting at the local VA bar, swapping stories with the guys that fought in Iraq or wherever they fought. What'd you do in the war? What? In the military? Oh, I guarded a monolith to keep the aliens from landing. Yeah, right, buddy. Your drinks are cut. That's our story from Turkey there. The monolith that they're just absolutely terrified of. So now we get, you'll love this one. Get ready. Now, Karen, brace yourself.
Okay.
Because the next one is an animal. Okay. And I know there's certain animals that you have problems with. I think this is one of them. So I'm only going to show a portion of it, but a significant portion. So this comes from Australia, where there's so many weird animals. And it comes from a snake catcher. So he's out catching snakes. He gets called in when somebody finds a snake in their toilet or wherever in the closet, and they come out and remove them. So he gets the call, and it's the longest python he's ever seen. So he grabs it and he stretches it out. And when he stretches it out, he finds this on the skin. Now take a good look at that and see if you can make out what that says.
Well, the end of it looks like 911.
Yeah, it does. It's actually 76911.
Yeah.
And next to that is the word keg. So on this snake, and the snake is much longer. It's like 7 or 8 feet long. It's a huge python. On the back, it says keg 76911. So they're trying to figure out what this might be. Why the snake has this message on it. One guess was that it's lottery numbers. My thinking is that it's the snake's grocery list. He got to pick up a keg, and then 76911 is the address of the place where he has to take the keg because they're having a party.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Could be a tattoo, or it could be that he forced himself to sketch this like a tattoo on his skin in memory of a party that he went to in 1976, where he got stuck in a keg trying to get the last beer out, and they had to call 911. No, don't buy that one. This is, but if he's trying to send messages to other pythons, this is the world's worst messaging system, because he writes his message on his back. He comes up with his buddy Joe Python, Monty, of course, Monty Python, and he gives the message to Monty. So then Monty put the message on his back. Well, then Joe wants to respond, but he has to shed first. So this could go on for years. This could go on for years. Give him a phone is what I say. So now we'll stick with animals for a minute here. This one comes from Maine. Okay, so we go back to the United States. A lobster fisherman in Maine caught this creature. I'm going to bring up right here. Take a look at that. That's a yellow lobster. 1 in 30 million are the chances, of catching a yellow lobster. It was caught off the coast of Maine. The guy did the right thing. He didn't eat it or boil it. He gave it to the New England Marine Science Center, where they now have it on display. The bad news is that they gave him a name. They called him Banana. So this poor lobster's in a tank with a bunch of other red lobsters, and they're all making fun of him. Oh yeah, they call you Banana because you have appeal. So he
Oh,
wants.
Okay, good one, Paul. Good one.
All right, sorry, John. So he wants another nickname. He doesn't mind living, obviously, but he'd like another nickname. 31 in 30 million. So that's pretty rare. I've seen a blue lobster on display in an aquarium, but yellow I think is the most rare. Now, speaking of rare, and we're not talking about meat here. This one comes from. I'm just wondering, if you caught something weird like that, John, since you would be fishing more than Karen, I would think, would you eat it or would you take it to a museum or what exactly? What do you think you would do?
I don't think I would eat it. I think you want to recognize the fact that it's that unique. And I would take it to a museum or take it to someone that
Yeah,
would be able to show it and let more people know about it.
yeah. I buy that too. That would be my philosophy. I'm like the guy that found the frog. You remember that old story? So this guy finds a frog, and the frog's talking to him, and the frog says, I'm actually a beautiful woman. If you kiss me, I'll turn into a beautiful woman." And he looks at the frog and he thinks about it and he puts the frog in his pocket. And he gets home and he takes the frog out and the frog says, "Why didn't you kiss me? I'm a beautiful woman." He says, I can get beautiful women, but a talking frog, that's worth a lot of money. So that's my philosophy too. A yellow lobster, if I could sell it, if not, then I would donate it. I think it's worth more than eating it. So sticking with the aquatic theme, there's a man in Thailand is walking along the beach picking up shells, and he picks up a shell, and inside that shell he finds this, an orange pearl, a giant orange pearl. Do you see that?
yeah.
I had a picture of him holding it up. It's like pretty close to an inch across, an inch in diameter. It's huge. It comes from a snail, not from an oyster. It's called the mellow snail. That particular orange pearl weighs a quarter of an ounce, so it's a pretty hefty thing, and it could be worth as much as $330,000.
Wow.
One pearl. He's negotiating now to find a buyer for it. So I'm thinking this is the perfect opportunity for Johnny Depp to reinvent the Pirates of the Caribbean with a new boat name. He's tired of the Black Pearl. He can get more flamboyant than he actually is and start sailing the Orange Pearl. Get a whole new outfit, a whole new strategy, new girlfriend, whatever. That's my idea, and I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
Okay, so now Karen, I got one more, and I'm gonna two more animal stories. I'm gonna warn you about this one because this is one of those creatures I know you don't like.
Okay.
This one comes from the United States, which is a big warning. So they're studying spiders, these giant spiders, and the tangle web spider they're called, and these researchers found out that they have a very springy silk that they use for their webs, and it's so springy that these spiders have figured out that they can use it as a pulley. So I'm going to show you. Whoops, that's the flying rhinoceros. Oh, I don't have. Oh, I thought I had the picture. I had a picture of this spider with a lizard tied up in its web, in its thread, pulling it up a wall to its web.
Wow.
That's how strong this stuff is, and stretchy. So he's strong enough that once they catch it, then he runs up to the web and it stretches out, and then it contracts and it pulls it like halfway up, and then he's got 8 legs, so he's got pulls it with each one, pulls it up to the web, and then he eats it. This is so I'm thinking, I hope they don't learn how to do more things with this pulley, because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go in the bathroom and they're going to see that you got a magazine in there. So before you can grab it and roll it up, they're going to wrap around it and they're going to pull it up to the ceiling. There's a ha ha ha, Karen, you can't swat me now. So that I apologize. I had a picture of that and it didn't get picked up in the.
That's
It might show up later. We'll see. So, anyways, you already saw the flying rhinoceros. Obviously, it's not doing a wing flap. This one comes from Africa, where they're trying to save. That was a black rhinoceros, which are extremely rare and heading for extinction. So they're trying to move them from one place to another. So that they can breed safely and not be exposed to poachers and nothing. But I don't think they have a natural enemy. I mean, look at that horn and the size of the thing. So, but they found when they were transporting the rhinos that they would get congested, which I can relate to, but congested enough that they'd almost be asphyxiated. It was not a good thing. So somebody came up with the bright idea. Well, let's hang them upside down, and then the snot can run down their tusk. And sure enough, it works. It actually works. They're flying these rhinos for miles and miles and miles. They let them down. They bring them back. They give them whatever to make the tranquilizer wear off. And they found that they're in much better shape. They're less annoyed by being tied up and tranquilized and all that. And they're all ready to go and start doing it with the other rhinos that are there. So, which I wish I had a video of that, because I know people that would pay good money to see that. But me. So I'm worried. What exactly do the rhinos think once they wake up? Because I've been under recently for surgery, and I do remember a few things that went on while I was under. What does the poor rhino have nightmares of flying upside down? This is worse than showing up for the dreams where you show up for work in your pajamas. I can just imagine if I had a dream of me flying upside down someplace. I wouldn't wake up in a good mood, I don't think.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so either, Karen. So anyways, I think I may have spoiled the surprise here. I'm going to take this down here. That's the end of our animal stories for a minute here. So I had a couple of stories on mysteriousnuniverse.org, where you can go on the editor and writer at Mysterious Universe. A lot of these stories are from there. Many of them I've expanded on for our special audience at What in the World. This story in particular came from Mysterious Universe, and it was the most popular story of the week at Mysterious Universe. And it has to do with flat earthers. So, Karen, do you know anyone who believes that the earth is flat?
I don't know them personally, but there used to be at least one or two Cavs players that were flat earthers.
Oh, it was Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
Kyrie, yeah, we did a story about this, as a matter of fact. Did you know that, John? Kyrie Irving believes the earth is flat.
Yeah, I know. He said that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I know that.
Basketball's around.
Yep.
Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody, John, that other than Kyrie? Do you know Kyrie?
No, I don't know Kyrie.
Oh.
And frankly, I don't know anyone else who purports that theory, thankfully.
We grew up, I know the three of us and many of our listeners grew up during the birth of the space age. And we used to watch it. We were kids. We watched it. We believed it. The astronauts went in space. They sent pictures back of the Earth. Earth was round. We believed it. They went to the moon. They sent pictures back. The Earth is round. They said the Earth is round. We believed them. These people don't believe that. They think that the astronauts are actors, that this is all a conspiracy to get us to believe that the Earth is not flat. Why? I don't know. I don't know what their purpose is. So
if the Earth was really flat, wouldn't we have had some indication of people falling off of it?
No, no, I know way too much about this. And I personally believe that the Earth is round. But
well, I do too, but I'm saying if it were flat,
yes,
we've heard stories of people falling off.
They already dealt with that, Karen.
Oh,
you've heard of this continent called Antarctica. So on a globe, Antarctica is at the bottom down here. Okay, and it's an island. correct me if I'm wrong here, John. If Antarctica is an island at the bottom, it's like the stand that Earth is on, like a globe. So, but for the flat Earth, Antarctica is the rim around the edge. And that's why the water doesn't run off. That's why you can't sail off the edge. And we did a story about this company that was a bunch of flat earthers that were raising money to rent a yacht and float, boat, whatever they do, completely around the outer rim of Antarctica. And they claimed that this would prove that they were around the rim of the flat Earth.
Okay.
You had that same comment the last time, Karen. I remember.
Yes.
So so I believe the Earth is round. So there's this guy in Scotland who is so upset with his friends who believe the Earth is flat that he started a GoFundMe a fundraiser to raise $250,000 to send a flat Earth leader into space so that they can look out the window and see that the Earth is round, and then come back and tell their followers, like the QAnon guy, I was wrong. Okay, the Earth is round. I went up there, I saw it, it's round. Go back to your business. Go home. The Earth is round. So he started this GoFundMe. His name is Mark Gold, and he actually contacted Elon Musk and Richard Branson. So Elon Musk runs SpaceX. Richard Branson runs Virgin Space, I think it's called, and he's going to be sending his own people into space and selling seats. And the seats cost, coincidentally, $250,000. So that's what this guy said. He said, okay, I got a deal. If I can come up with $250,000, will you take a flat earther into space? And Sir Richard said, sure, money's money. I'll take anybody's money. So now he's looking for volunteers. He thinks he's already got like about $80. So he's well on his way. I went to this site and it's climbing slowly towards $250,000. But he's already looking for volunteers. And you saw the Super Bowl ad where SpaceX is also looking for someone. SpaceX, though, I think is charging like over $1 million for that seat. So this sounds like a bargain. All you have to do is tell the guy that you're a flat earther. And I went to this site and it's climbing slowly towards $250,000. You hear that? He's already looking for volunteers.
Playing
and
sound on.
You saw the Super Bowl ad where SpaceX is also looking for someone.
Wow, that's pretty weird. John,
is that coming out of yours? So this sounds like a bargain. All you have to do is tell the guy that
that's the strangest thing.
Sounds like a repeat.
I went to this site and
I apologize to our listeners. We're picking up audio from the past.
And
sound on.
you saw the Super Bowl ad.
What in the world?
How did this happen? I don't think it's coming from me. It stopped all of a sudden. Oh, good.
It was yours. No?
No, I didn't do anything here. I moved my mouse. John, did you hear that?
Paul, I can't see you or Karen now. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, great. Oh, no. Uh-oh. It could be.
That's where it came from.
I don't want to make any accusations. So you can't see us? Is that what
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Karen, you can see John, right? I can see John.
Everybody.
I believe that our listener. So John, I can't, I want you to see the pictures for your sport. We need to figure out a way to get you back there, but maybe try a reset.
You want me to just try to see if I can
log out and log back in.
Log back in. Okay, sure. All right.
Yeah, we'll make do. So anyway, so this flat Earth guy, he's collecting money. He's going to send them into space.
He says he's an oil rig worker, so his friends work on the oil rig with him, and they think that these astronauts get paid to tell us that the Earth is round. It's really flat. So I did the story about this. I mean, Mysterious Universe, to see what people would say. There's an awful lot of people defending the flat earthers. I'm always amazed at how many people do. And one of the things that they said was, well, how do we know that Virgin Galactic or SpaceX or NASA in particular won't just put a video screen where the window's supposed to be and show videos of a launch, and then put the round Earth there so that this guy can't look out the window, and it's going to be a guy, of course, looks out the window and see that the Earth really is flat, and come back and tell all us rounders, which is what they call us, that the Earth really is flat. They call they say that NASA is a lie machine. That's what they complain about. So anyway, so that was you would not believe how popular that story was from both sides. That's what always amazes me, is there really are a lot of people who believe that the Earth is flat, and even if they don't, they defend the right of flat earthers to believe whatever it is they want to believe, whether it's proven by science or not. So John, we all still see your picture there. I want to let you know, how did you make out? Have you?
I know I'm not doing very well here. I can hear you folks, but I just can't see you.
Can you, did you try restarting
Logging out and
Zoom?
logging back in.
Yeah, I did that. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe here.
Let's see, how are we doing on time? I'll give you a couple more minutes here. Well, let's do the UFO, the walnut-shaped UFO. So what I have, unfortunately, I think you saw the picture that I have of it. So Karen, when we've talked about UFOs many times on the show, what are the most common shapes that we tend to talk about?
Well, they look sort of like flat and oval.
Oval, yeah, okay. So like the one is a saucer, obviously. Another one is the glowing ball. Another one is the cigar. And then the one most recently from the Navy pilots is the Tic Tac, which is a little white pill. So now there's a new one. There's the walnut, but not a whole walnut, but a half walnut that's inverted. So it's the bottom half, I guess it would be.
Hey, Paul, you're back. I can see you and Karen.
Oh, good. Okay, John. Well, welcome back.
Good.
So this comes from Argentina, which is a hot spot for UFOs. I've done stories from Argentina before. So this comes from a city, but it's spelled Roque Perez, and I believe it's pronounced, believe it or not, Rocky Perez. Now, John, I think you and I went to see Rocky Perez fight Leon Spinks, didn't we? I wanted to work in a Leon Spinks reference because
I don't think so. My memory.
No, you don't remember that? We were too
that.
drunk, yeah. Rocky Perez and Leon Spinks, who defeated Muhammad Ali of all people.
Yes, he did.
In his first and only big fight. Passed away this week. That's why we mentioned him. So these three guys are driving in Rocky Perez down the road in the middle of the night. They were getting ready to have a soda. Okay, that's straight from the quote. Okay, Google translates. So we went from Spanish to English. So there's some strange things in there. And he says, I looked up in the sky and I saw a kind of inverted half nut pass by. So he called up another worker and says, hey, look at that. And it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't in the middle of the night. They were on their lunch break. So I know the first thing you're going to say is half nut. That sounds like they're all half nut. But and the other thing is he said half nut. He didn't say half walnut. So how do you know, Paul, that he was talking about a walnut? Well, it turns out walnuts are very popular, or a Brazil nut. Okay, since they're in Argentina. Turns out that walnuts are very popular in Argentina, and South American walnut wood is a prized thing for furniture. So there. So it's a half walnut. And although he didn't have his camera out, he did do a drawing And I want to show this for you, John, because I know what a disbeliever you are in these UFO stories. So there you go. Okay. Now there is an
Oh, wow.
accurate picture of the half walnut that this guy saw in the sky.
Half walnut.
Half walnut. That's
Well, I
right.
guess it's got, I
Here.
guess it's got the shape of a half a walnut. I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's a half nut, though, wouldn't you say?
Doesn't look like it's whole. Oh,
So I'm thinking, if it really looked like a walnut and it's full of aliens, the first thing I would do is grab a nutcracker and hold it up to Adam and say, "This is going to happen to you if you get any closer." So I actually saw it right around noon, and it turns out this Rocky Perez city is a hotbed of UFO sightings. The newspaper that covered it, Coronica, it's called.
Oh, you just froze, Paul.
yeah, he's frozen on my screen also.
Oh my.
Karen,
wow.
I can see you and hear you. Okay.
Yep. It's just poor old Paul. He got frozen.
Yes, he is frozen.
Ah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see if I can get this to pause. Except it doesn't want to pause. Well, poor Paul. I think we lost him.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Karen, okay?
He'll come back in. Yep.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
we'll wait for him as
Already. Sure.
see, you're not the only one who has computer problems, John.
Yeah, I know, Karen. I was feeling like I was the outcast,
No, no, not at all. So we'll get this all back up and rolling here soon. Hopefully he didn't lose his complete internet.
Well, yeah, because I faded out there for several minutes. I lost the video, but I could hear you fine, but lost the video, and then it came back. So thank goodness.
Well, that's part of technology today, and we don't always have control over that.
That's so true. That is so true.
So we'll see if he can come back on. If not, we'll have to just, do the last part of the show next week. Start off with the last part and do the first part.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because we don't want to do it without Paul. I mean, that's kind of defeats the purpose.
Absolutely. Especially since he has pictures about the sport. So,
oh yeah, he does. Exactly. We can't connect the two.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
And we can't do, bluff the co-host.
Well, yeah, how can we do
questions?
He won't be there, right? Exactly. It won't be the same. Yeah.
So
Oh gosh.
we'll double check on, since technology is so great, we'll even use a phone to see if we can call him up.
Oh, usually I do. Yeah. Are you gonna come and cook for me?
Well, he's not answering his phone either.
Maybe he lost the internet then,
He
huh?
may have totally lost internet. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to end today's show here. We will post how Paul is doing in Never Never Land. Oh, wait a second. Here he comes. Here he comes. We're not ending the show yet. Let's see what happens here.
They're big boys.
I love it.
There he is.
Hey, how you doing?
I tried to answer your call.
That's okay.
while
Did you
doing
go off?
things.
Did you go off in the walnut?
Yeah, that was it. All of a sudden, this giant walnut came into the room and knocked our internet off completely.
I had a feeling it was that.
That was mine. Yeah, that was. I don't want to mention the name, but the letters are ATT.
And I want you to know John feels good because he's not the only one with computer problems.
It's our host. It's our
I'm
host.
hoping. Oh, okay. Let's see. I want to see if I can get the picture back. Oh, can you see that?
Well, there it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we still have our pictures. That's good. So anyway, so that's the Walnut. So this is obviously a hot spot for UFOs. I wanted to do this story in particular. I know my readers at Mysterious Universe love these kind of UFO stories. They hate, as we do, when the people don't take out their phone and take a picture. But for the guy to draw that and say this is what it looked like, just floored me. So I'm sorry, I don't buy this one at all.
I don't either.
Yeah. So I think we're to make sure that nothing else bad happened. We're going to go right to sports. Now I do have a sport for you, John. Before we get into your sport, and
Okay.
this comes from the world of racing, auto racing. Michael Andretti broke the Guinness World Record this past week for the fastest edible vehicle and the longest distance covered by an edible vehicle. Now, edible vehicle, you say. Let's see if I have a picture of it. Nope, that's not it. There you go. No, that's not it. But that sure looks good, doesn't it?
That's
Sure it does.
good.
Yeah, but that's too small for Michael Andretti to fit into. Here we are. Okay, so that is a Formula One racer made out of cake. It had to be, in order to qualify for the record, 90% cake, 91% cake. Okay, so the rest of it obviously is the wheels. The wheels aren't cake, and something else, probably the engine. So the world record, which he broke, was he drove it 350 feet at a top speed of 17 miles an hour. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Made out of
Wow.
cake. So now this wasn't just a single cake, but Mario Andretti is one of the world's greatest race car drivers. So this was actually a race between him and another car made out of cake. So they managed to find two of these things and two drivers, and they raced each other at 350 feet, and Michael Andretti won the race. Now, he got a trophy and he got the world record. What do you think happened to the loser, John?
They ate the cake.
There you go, Karen.
Very good.
Step
Very
to the
good.
punch. Here it comes. They ate the cake. They
Wow.
ate the loser.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
How
They
many does
ate-
that serve? How many people does that cake serve? Or the car
I don't
serve?
know. Quite a few, John,
A
I'm
lot.
sure.
A lot.
That I think that they ought to bring the Indy 500, bring this into the Indy 500. I think that would be great. Eat all the losers at the end. But there's no losers here, only winners. And that's what John likes to talk about on What in the World of Sport. So John, I know I can't even give this an introduction. This is quite frankly the most weird sport we've ever talked about. So go ahead, John.
Paul, I agree with you 100% too. It is the most weird sport we've ever talked about. And I'll repeat the name of it. It's called extreme ironing.
Not irony, ironing.
It's extreme ironing.
Extreme ironing. Okay.
Okay, it's also called EI. It's an extreme sport in which people take ironing boards to extreme locations and then iron various items of clothing.
I know you find that hard to believe, Karen. So I
Yeah.
have a lot of pictures. I'm not even going to interrupt John other than what I just did here. I'm just going to show some pictures of extreme ironing. For
Okay,
you.
and I'll continue on then, Paul. Okay.
Describes the sport. There's a guy ironing on the top of a mountain.
So, according to the Extreme Ironing Bureau, extreme ironing is the latest danger sport that combines the thrill of an outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt. So you might want to know about the history of extreme ironing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Who?
Well-
This obviously somebody in a bar came up with this.
Well, Paul, according to some purists of the sport, they say it was started in 1997 in Leicester, England, by resident Phil Shaw in his back garden. Shaw came home from what he recalls as a hard day in the Leicester knitwear factory. Shaw had a number of chores to do, including ironing his shirts. Preferring the idea of an evening out rock climbing, he decided to combine the two activities into a new extreme sport.
So I think this is him. I think this is him doing.
So-
Look, if you look in the middle of that, the shirt obviously is tied to the board so
Yeah.
that it doesn't fall off while he's
Right.
going up
Right.
the hill. But otherwise, it seems to be a regulation ironing board.
Yes, it is. And in June of 1999, Shaw, who uses the nickname Steam, embarked on an international tour to promote the sport. An encounter with German tourists while he was in New Zealand led to the formation of a group called Extreme Ironing International and the German Extreme Ironing Section, or GEIS.
This guy is either rappelling down or climbing up a waterfall with his ironing
I
board.
think he's repelling down, I think, Paul. I think.
Down. Okay. I don't know what he has on his head. If he's going to put a cone out so nobody else disturbs him while he's ironing.
She looks like a road cone for sure. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, go on, John.
Okay, so the sport gained international attention in 2003 after a documentary entitled Extreme Ironing: Pressing for Victory premiered on Britain's Channel 4. The program
Pressing
followed
for
the
Victory.
British team's effort and eventual bronze and gold placing in the first Extreme Ironing World Championships that took place in Germany.
There you go. If it has a world championship, it's a sport according to our rules.
Yes. And there are
This guy's in a
5
tree, by the way. If you
So-
I don't understand something. Please explain this to me. He had to carry the ironing board up there and the laundry,
uh-huh.
and he's ironing it. It's
Uh-huh.
going to get all wrinkled by the time he gets it down.
No, it's a good iron.
That's a good- that's a
I
good
don't know.
thought, Karen. I don't know.
He sprays starch on it.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so there are 5 categories. There are categories of extreme ironing. Okay, the first one is urban, and that involves ironing in and around or a broken car, in, on, or around a broken car.
Ironing on a broken car. What's
Correct.
a broken car, John? Is that
Well, it's
is it
a broken down car,
broken down? Okay.
Right, sure. Okay, the water category is a fast-flowing river that was the location for this station. Competitors could use surfboards, canoes, or rubber rings to help them.
Oh, I think I got some pictures of those crazy people. Here's 2 people on a unicycle. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it. The forest category is ironing at the top of a tree, but it did not suit all of the competitors.
Oh, that was our
Did
Well, this
not
guy
suit-
did. It didn't bother him to go up in
No,
a
it
tree
did
and
not.
iron.
It did not.
No.
Then the Lauda, which is a purpose-built climbing wall, which ironers had to climb and iron a T-shirt.
Oh, I used a wall. That other guy used a real mountain.
Right, yes, he did. And freestyle, which is the section where, quote, anything goes, unquote.
Anything goes. Here we go, right here.
Freestyle,
Freestyle,
that's
right there.
freestyle.
2 women. You know, Karen. This is.
No, I don't think so.
I could just see you thinking, well, only guys would do something this stupid. No
Well-
contraire.
Let me continue though. So some locations, Paul and Karen, where performances have taken place include the mountainside of a very difficult climb, a forest, in a canoe, while skiing or snowboarding, on top of a large bronze statue, in the middle of a street, underwater, while parachuting, and finally under the ice sheet of a frozen lake. And the performances have been conducted solo or by organized groups. So sometimes organized groups can take.
I think I have a couple of teams, coming up there. Here's the guy in the canoe.
It's a canoe
Look at
right
that.
there. Yeah, there it is. Very good. Good timing. Also, a branch of ironing has been developed that includes both bungee jumping and well-pressed clothing. Bungee ironing is what some would call the ultimate in the thrill of extreme ironing.
Wow.
We don't have any pictures of that, Paul, I don't think.
No, I don't. I don't have one. I was looking for one on that. I couldn't find one.
Another
So
group-
are there other forms of like extreme sports like this, John?
Yes, there is. And I'm glad you asked that question, Paul. Another group called Urban Housework is trying to establish their own extreme sport around vacuum cleaning.
Extreme vacuum cleaning. That's
Also-
every day in my house.
Well, there you go. And then extreme ironing has inspired other forms of unusual extreme activities, such as extreme cello playing. You
Extreme.
heard it right, cello playing.
Hello plane.
So anyway, so there are
I like the ironing better. It's
right,
just,
okay. So
look
there
at this
are
guy.
we have some world records to speak to, folks. Let's
some world records.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
smoke.
In 2003, John Roberts and Ben Gibbons from Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, and Christopher Allen Jounsey from Newcastle, Whitley Bay, ironed a Union Jack just above the Mount Everest base camp. This is
Mount Everest. Wow.
This is believed to be the world altitude record for the sport. The reported height was 5,440 meters or 17,850 feet above sea level.
Wow.
So, and not to be outdone, in 2004, the EIB traveled to the US and ironed at Mount Rushmore, New York City, Boston, and Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Wow.
Can you imagine them? What did they do? Climb down to Washington's nose or nestle in Lincoln's beard?
We don't have any pictures. We don't have any pictures, so I can't tell you.
I don't have any pictures of that one. I looked for that one too.
In March of 2008, a team of 72 divers simultaneously ironing underwater set a new record for the number of divers ironing at one time. In January, and then on January 10th, 2009, 128 divers, including six free divers, broke the previous world record, managing to confirm 86 divers ironing within a 10-minute period.
Now,
86 divers.
86. And here's a couple of them. Now, my question to you, John, because you're the one who knows how to figure these things out. What on earth is that iron plugged into? They're underwater.
Yeah.
I have, you know what, Paul, I have to tell you, I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah.
It sure looks like a power cord.
Yeah, it does.
Here it does.
I thought it might be like a tube for steam, but I don't know.
Some kind of battery. Has to be just underwater battery that works, obviously.
Underwater battery. Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, sure. Then on June 16th, 2018, as you were anxiously awaiting, a free diver, Roland Piccoli, ironed a T-shirt at a depth of 42 meters or 138 feet in the world's deepest pool in Monte Grotto, Italy.
Wow.
And then in 2012, ironing pioneer Phil Steam Shaw came out of retirement to take on a new challenge and run the Hastings Half Marathon in March, wearing an ironing board, pressing clothes along the way.
13 miles running with an ironing board, pressing along the way.
Well, look, you have to love his nickname. His nickname is Steam.
Steam.
I mean,
How do you
Phil
rank?
Steam. If you think of that.
Look at these. They're bikers. I don't. Why? I know.
You need heat to iron. How are they actually ironing?
I have no idea.
I think John had it that they must be battery operated.
Yeah, I would think.
Except for the ones underwater. I don't know what they were doing.
But I'm hoping that we can come to agreement that this is the weirdest sport that we've ever had.
Yes.
Oh, by far. This beats going down the hill on a shovel.
Sure.
Wow.
Chasing cheese.
Oh, yes, exactly. Okay, very good.
All right, John. Well, let's take
Thank
that picture down here. Maybe we should put that picture back up. It was bringing us good luck. I hope we don't lose it here. So thank you, John, as always, for that extreme sport. That's strange. And that means it's time at What in the World for Bluff the co-host.
Absolutely.
Everybody's favorite game where I present 3 stories, very similar in style to the ones that we just have been hearing about for the past hour, with the added twist that they may be true, they may be bluffs. And it's up to Karen and John and then all of you playing at home to decide whether it's a real story or bluff. So I try to have a theme occasionally. So our theme this week is India. All of these stories may or may not have come. They have something to do with India, may or may not come from there, but have something to do with India. So, and I mentioned to John was not with us last week, so I played for him and he won. So,
Well, that's a good thing.
now you're here. Pressure's on, John. Okay, hands on the buzzers. Let's go with story number 1 from India. Everyone knows that cows are sacred in India, but it turns out that cow manure is sacred there too, at least in a court of law. 4 people in India were arrested recently for selling substandard cow manure that was labeled as organic cow manure. Exhibit number 1 was the label on the packaging, which was wrong. And not surprisingly, exhibit number 2 was the cow's manure, which the chief agricultural manure inspector, who was called to the pre-trial hearing as a witness, had to sniff and poke to determine that it was well below the texture and stink of high quality organic manure from a sacred Indian cow. The 4 manure manipulators will now face poor poop prosecution at a later date. That's the real or bluff, the substandard manure that tried to get passed off as organic manure. Karen, real or bluff?
Wouldn't it all be organic? I'm going to say it's true. It's
Karen says it's true. There's actually a guy who's a manure inspector. John, how about you?
Well, I'm going to go against the grain here, or go against the grain with Karen. I'm going to say it's false, and I hope it's false.
I hope so too.
I'm hoping it's false.
As a former recruiter, I don't think you ever had a call for a manure inspector, did you?
No, never did. Thankfully.
No, but obviously you weren't working in India because they do have them there. That's a true story.
That's too bad.
Substandard manure. That was the headline. Substandard manure. I said, this is bluff. There's a bluff the co-host story right here. Okay, Karen was ahead 1-0. John, come on in. Get ready for the story number 2, also from India. All set? Everyone knows that arranged marriages are acceptable in India, but how soon is too soon to pick a marriage partner for your son or daughter? A new Indian reality show called Baby Bachelor aims to find out. Set in the maternity ward of a major maternity hospital, Baby Bachelor will pick 1 newborn boy and 12 newborn girls, each of whom will be held up to the baby boy to see how he reacts. A laugh is a yes, a cry is a no, and a spit up gives the baby girl another chance in the second round. Once there's only 1 baby girl left, an Indian minister will perform the ceremony for the happy couple, accepting any kind of gurgle as an I do. Don't worry, girls, a Baby Bachelorette show is planned for season 2. Okay, John, the earliest possible arranged marriage coming to you from India, the Baby Bachelorette show, real or bluff?
Boy, I'm going to say that's a bluff. That's got to be a bluff.
Well, you said that about the manure.
That's right. I was wrong about that, but I'm going to say this is a bluff.
Okay, so John says it's a bluff. Karen, how about you? Baby Bachelor?
I have to agree with him because there's just like too much insanity in this whole thing.
Well,
Are you referring to the show in general? Or
That
this
too.
particular story? All right, well, you're both correct. That was a bluff.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Thank God it's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. So Karen has 2. John has 1. Points are double, John, in round 3. So this is your chance to catch up.
Okay.
Story number 3, also from India. A 103-year-old Indian yogi has become the world's oldest snake charmer, according to the Guinness World Record Committee, which accepted a video of the man hypnotizing a deadly cobra using nothing but a flute while on a street in New Delhi. The old yogi is one of the few snake charmers still working the streets for rupees, and the ancient performing art is on its way out, as young Indians prefer to play snake charmer games on their cell phones. The 103-year-old snake charmer learned how to do it at age 4, the same way most kids in India learn. His father locked him in a room with a cobra, a basket, and a flute, and he had to keep blowing until the snake retreated into the basket and he could slam the lid on it. 99 years later, he still uses the same technique to charm the snakes, but he had to switch to a video to train his own great-grandson. Real or bluff, the 103-year-old world record-setting snake charmer in India. Karen? Karen, it's okay.
I really have a headache now. Oh my God.
Oh, I better look at that, make sure I know what it is.
Yeah, make sure. I'm gonna say it's true.
Karen says it's true, the 103-year-old snake charmer. John, how about you?
I was inclined to think it was a bluff, but now on second thought, I think it's true. I think it is true also.
You can just imagine him sitting down there cross-legged on the streets of New Delhi,
Sure.
blowing his horn.
Sure.
Snake comes out, that big hooded cobra.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Karen. Oh, you've seen this before.
Yeah.
You've seen this before. 103 years old seems like an awfully old guy to be doing something like that, doesn't it?
No.
Well, you're right. It's a bluff. That was it was a bluff. I got both of you on that one.
No.
It does not exist. No, there was no world record. 103 years old. You got to be doing something besides blowing a horn for a snake.
I was thinking if he was that old that he had to be doing something right. So that's why.
No, that was it. That was it. Most times when they interview the world's oldest person, they always say that they drink a beer a day or a shot a day,
Right.
smoke a pack a day. This guy blows on his horn for snakes. Sorry. So that means that Karen is the winner this week.
Wow. It's
Congrats.
about time.
How about that? Wow. There you go. So John, maybe I have to help you out next week. How about that?
Well, I'm hoping I can come back and do better next week.
Okay. All right.
Congratulations, Karen. Congratulations,
He's
Karen.
winning on his own. That's okay.
Good.
He
Okay.
figured it out.
Thanks.
Well,
Karen.
as always, that brings us to the end of another week of What in the World. I want to thank Karen, our producer and co-host and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. As always, please go to newclevelandradio.net. You can find out where to download us for free.
Free.
And all of Karen's other great podcasts. They're just a plethora of different, interesting, helpful podcasts at newclevelandradio.net. And as always, I thank my old friend John DiNallo for the absolute weirdest sport, I'm going to challenge you to top next week, John.
I'm gonna try. I'll try. I don't know if I can, but I'll try.
All right. So as always, we're here every week. If you're on live, thanks for tuning in. If you're not, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I believe one of them was at my end, but that's what happens at What in the World. Just sit back and say, what in the world?
Absolutely. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Oh, that's
Happy
right, yeah.
Valentine's Day.